Good day to all. Welcome to my channel, your channel, our channel, where our thoughts and opinions become clear under the sun's view. Please, let's have an enlightening discussion without the thunder. I do want to first apologize regarding the first video that I posted. The comments were not enabled. I have resolved that issue, so please feel free to comment, like, share, subscribe, dislike, whatever you are compelled to do. Right? I do hope that everyone is doing well or getting well. We do know that these are very, very challenging times for everyone. Maybe for some people it's a little bit unchallenging, but for the majority, these are different, unique times, interesting times. And as I said, this video, this post, it's really just getting views out there. It's really getting your thoughts, your opinions, your feelings and words out into the universe. I would understand from my own perspective and from where I sit, stand, and lay, that a lot of things have been taking place, not just now, but throughout, as far back as I can see. And as much as we have various platforms open, I'm still thinking that people are still not able to voice what it is that they deeply, deeply, deeply feel inside. And this, for me, has been something I've been considering for a very, very long time now. And, various life distortions, I guess, have caused that to not materialize. So I've decided now to just try it, see what happens. As well, I've been through, seen through, heard through, watched through everything that you could possibly think through has come into my space. And I want to be able to hear what others, because as I mentioned, we're all one, we're all connected, we all share the same things regardless of the little things that give us that uniqueness. We're still very much all the same and living under one umbrella. Okay, so I did get a chance to post my first video. I am happy, and hooray, hooray, hooray. It's been a long time coming, but I'm happy to know I posted my first video. Yes, so, but I still have a bit of nervousness inside. It's still a bit there, so hopefully that will melt and dissipate and maybe not linger in the universe. Okay. All right, so I do want to use this segment to add to our discussions to add to my discussion from last week, as I didn't delve much into the topic. I will be getting a bit into that today as well. And disclosure, my background noise. Funny thing. I did a video already to post, and I was listening to the video, and my neighbors were playing music, and you would know how far away they are. And I could hear music playing in the video throughout. And I had to scrap the video. One, the music that was playing was not for airplay on this platform. One. Two, I'm not familiar with these. I'm not quite inversed with these copyright things, so I don't know if I could have had, that music playing in the background. So I had to scrap scrap that. Oh my goodness. But yeah, so I'm doing it over again. Some of the things that were there, I certainly, they're not going to be heard here, as once I say certain things, some things, it goes, it's gone, it's forgotten, so I can't remember everything that I said, so you're getting fresh information. Okay, so yes, again, I will go into our topic and give you my views and my thoughts. Okay, and oh, background noise again. There exist in my background animals. It may be a nuisance to some. I certainly would understand that, especially in trying to listen intently to a message being presented. However, it's really beyond my control. It is so, so, so beyond my control. So I do ask for your pardon. Not only that, I'm not, I'm not even sure if they have, systems available that you can really crop, fix, and remove background noise. I have no idea. And even if they did, I don't think I am just capable of going through and doing all of that. So I'm in a natural setting. I'm in a real setting. And I am recording this to you. So my pardon if the noise in my background, the chickens, the cockroaches, everything, are of a nuisance or any disturbance to you. Okay? And the weird thing about it, I have a headset, right? And the headsets that I have are what you call noise cancellation headsets. The funny thing is, they don't cancel any the noise in the background. They do not cancel it. They actually amplify it. So you can hear a pin fall outside. I'm not sure what exactly the noise cancellation part was built for, but I can hear a pin falling outside. I could literally use my headset, connect my headset, put it on record, and use it as some type of security system, right? The moment somebody enters into my house or the yard, I'll be able to hear their footsteps or hear them breathing. That's how the headsets amplify my background noise. So that's just a strange and unique thing. But it is what it is, and I don't make headsets and I don't make systems that can cancel out anything. So I guess I just have to work with it as it is until maybe in the future I decide to make these things, and there are products, particles, or whatever it is available to do that type of stuff. Okay, so my pardons again for the background noise. Bear with me. Thank you again for being here. Thank you very much for wanting to listen to what I say. I also am pleased, I am encouraging all to comment. Please say something. Let me know that you're there. Let me know that you are hearing me. Let me know that you are in feeling of whatever it is that I am saying. As I said, in the future, close future, near future, I do want to have more of a live session, where we can actually have a literal conversation together. Okay, this really is now just me talking, chatting, and saying what me, I think, feel, whatever. Right? I do want to hear from you. That's the whole means of this, really, to hear you, to know what you think, to hear what you have to say about these things, about anything differently. You can also, I would appreciate, make your own suggestions on things that we can discuss, things of interest to you. Okay, but for right now, it's me, and I don't want it to be just me. This is already a lonely world, a lonely place. We're doing lonely things and having a lonely space. So I don't want that to be continuous. Okay? We, as I mentioned, we're sociable individuals, and we, regardless of what we think, feel, or observe, we need each other. Okay? It is your dollar spent that helps me to make my dollar spent. Right? So please comment, say something, let me know that you're there. Okay? Alright, so let's see if I can get into our topic today, which still stands: is there a race war or a race for war? And this topic, I was just sitting down and I thought to myself, what would be a good topic to start with? There's so much going on right now in regards to race and war. Race, war, race. And I would believe, or I'd hope to believe, that there are persons out there who have a diverse view on this matter, other than what is being perpetuated. Okay? For me, just I can't speak for you, so I'm speaking for me. This is my thoughts, my view, my opinion, okay? And it doesn't have anything to do with any legal credentials or anything. I'm not giving information. I'm not offering advice. I'm not doing any form of recommendation. Neither am I suggesting, okay, anything. My assumptions are mine. My views are mine. My thoughts and ideas are mine, okay? And that's what I'm putting out there right now. So, for race, if we even think of the meaning behind these words, their definitions, what they stand for, it is diverse, and they can be utilized in so many different forms, in so many different aspects. For this specific aspect, it's in regards to color, it's in regards to a certain set of people, and it's in regards to a competition, and it's also in reference to harm, displacement, hurt, pain, as those are the things that war bring. It's also in reference to being left behind, because those are some of the things that these phrases represent, right? Now, I do believe there is a race. I do believe there is a war. Putting those two together, is there a race war? So, no, I do not think there is a race war in reference to how it has been brought to us, or in how it has been handed out to us. I could conjure, that phrase differently, and it would speak to what I think may possibly be what exists, right? Is there a race for acquiring certain things? Yes. Is there a war pursuant to accomplish acquiring these things? Yes, in my opinion. Are people of color fighting amongst each other? Yes. Are people of color committing harm, hurt, pain? Yes. Is it that people of color are in a competition? No, I don't think so. So it's really it's tricky. It's the phrase. It's a very tricky phrase for me, and it brings more to light confusion. Because when I put the words together, when I look at them from various vantage points, it's only confusion that comes to me. Right? Why would somebody think of a race war? And then you have to ask your question, race. If it's about a certain set of people, if that is the definition that we're going to utilize, and it's about a set of people, then who exactly are they fighting? And why are they fighting? What purpose is this fight? To what aim? To what degree? How long has this fight been going on? Okay, so those are some of the things that I'm asking myself. Then I would want to ask myself as well, because if you use a different definition for the term, right, race, it's usually a competition, and in most competitions, from my understanding, it takes an agreement. So you and I both agree that we're gonna compete against, and we agree. We discuss this, and there is a mutual understanding, a mutual agreement, and so we proceed. But if we're going to use it in that context, did this particular group of people agree that they wanted to compete for whatever it is it may be? And who is the next party in this competition? Did they agree to this? Right? Did they agree if the competition be fighting? Did both parties mutually come together and say, let's fight and see what can come of this? Or let's fight so as to get this or that, or so as to achieve this. So for that, those are the things that I ask myself, and I do come to some conclusion. Not that my conclusion is absolute. And the conclusion that I do come to, it's very confusing. So in itself, the whole phrase is just distortment and confusion and chaos for me. So if there is a race war, somebody needs to contextualize exactly what this race war is. Okay. Until then, it is in my view that there isn't a race war in regards to what we have been so told, or so to understand, or assumed, or presumed, right? So, no. There's maybe existing something else, but not in that avenue for me. You know, it's interesting because, as I mentioned, we're all the same. For me, language, it's that means of expression. And speaking of race, and in terms of different aspects of people that exist, black, white, beige, blue, pink, purple, brown, we we all are seeking nothing different from the other, to be wanted, to be accepted, right? That's that's basically it, just to live, to survive, to be. Now, in extent to that, there's this story in the Bible that speaks about, I guess I guess then there only existed one language. How far back did this one language group of people exist? I'm not quite sure, but the Bible speaks or says, or I've read in the Bible where there is the people decided to build a tower to God. I think it's called Tower of Babel. And this Tower of Babel, the people were trying to build, I guess, in order to reach God, to find God or something, but they were building it up to the sky or to the heavens, right? And God tore down this tower. So, to me, it's funny, it's hilarious. Because God obviously did what? Did not what? If that's where He resides, so to speak, up in the heavens, right? Up in the sky, He did not want the people to build the tower either to reach Him, to find Him, or whatever it may be. He was not comfortable. He was not having it. And He tore down the tower. I have many questions to this story, right? I've had many questions. I still have many questions. And I may never, to the day of my death, get the answers to this question. But why would God have torn down the tower? It's like, I think of myself, let's say I grew up, and when I turned, let's say 20, I was told that the people whom I've resided with for the past 20 years are not my real parents. I am now inclined to find who my real parents are, right? And if it's a case where each time I get a lead, let's say I get leads upon leads, right, to their location. And for every lead that I'm getting, and it's drawing me closer and closer, something keeps pushing me further back. The first question I want to ask is, why? Why is it that I'm not supposed to find my real parents? And why would, if it's my parents who are actually pushing back from me finding them, why would they do that? and then more questions are going to arise. And when those questions go unanswered, you are left in a state of confusion, hurt, pain, and distortment because you have questions. You are trying to accomplish something, and for every go at it, you're being pushed back. Why? I don't think asking a question is in defiance. I think it's more in revelation to an understanding. Right? So, when God tore down, or as the Bible has it, tore down the tower, why? Why was the tower torn down? Why didn't you want these people to reach you? If it is that it is said they should seek you, they should serve you, give reverence to you, obey you, what would be so wrong in them trying to find you physically? Because everything else is mental, right? What's so wrong in that? Why would he tear down he, she, they, whom they be? Why tear down that tower? Okay. The second aspect to this story is that he didn't. The tower wasn't just torn down. The people were scattered amongst the earth, and their language changed. So these people could no longer come together and communicate. They could no longer come together and equally, united, share their thoughts, their feelings, because there was no more clear expressional understanding because of this act. Was it a good act? Was it a bad act? Why is it this would be done? Right? And according to the Bible, it's written, obey, submit, find reverence, all these things. And then you do this. This act takes place. What are you leaving these people to think? How are you expecting these people to react? What are you expecting them to do moving forward? Is it that they should now continue to obey? Is it that now they should continue to seek you? But seek you not physically, seek you only mentally? Why? So, for me, it's the same questions that are resonating with this thing called race war. Why? What's the purpose? What's the aim? Why? Why a race? Why a war? Why a race war? What are you trying to say? What are you trying to tell me? What is it that I should be looking into much deeper? So that's a bit of my view on that part. Now we come to a race for war. Yeah, like compassion, prosperity. It's so race for war? Is there a race for war? I believe there may be. We hear it on the news daily. This place has this type of weapon, that place has that type of machinery, that place is out for this, that place wants this, that place needs this, and you are training these soldiers. Soldiers carry ammunition. They carry weapons for mass destruction. Whether it be destruction to building, people, animal, destruction. Why? Why? These very same soldiers, people like you and me, they're trained, prepared mentally, physically for destruction. They're prepared, groomed mentally, physically to destroy. Why? Why? In the Bible, we're told to replenish and build and prosper and procreate and bear fruit. But in reality, that's what I've read. Reality says, let's make, train, prepare a group of people to destroy. What then comes after this destruction? Is it that we are going against the Bible? But then when you go very back, when you go back to the Bible, you see where the very same entity destroyed. And now the people whom are said to have been created in the likeness, in the image, are too destroying. You gotta scratch your head. You gotta think, and you gotta wonder, and you gotta go deep, like real deep. But then one may come to a clear vision under the sun's view that, okay, if it's said in this book, I am created in the image and likeness, it means, in my opinion, that I am just like, I am just as. So when we come as a people and we are, as I said, groomed for destruction, is that then the same concept or image of whom created me? Were they also destroyers, persons causing destruction, doing destruction, preparing for destruction? How does this all come together? And these are, as I said, these are my thoughts and views, and each time I hear it's just confusion, con, confusion, and chaos. Because all we can do is think, guess, wonder, imply. We have nothing of truth, nothing of facts for ourselves. You have heroes and you have legends and you have myths. What is the truth? Where is the truth? Where are the answers? Where do you find them? Will you, will I, will we ever find them? Will we ever really know them? But then they say the truth is in the eyes of the beholder. But what exactly am I supposed to behold in order to get the truth? I've behold numerous things in my lifetime. Have I gotten truth from these things? I don't know. Have I gotten lies from these things? I don't know. I do know that I've gotten a lot of confusion and less understanding. Okay, so a race for war. The pictures, the images, the information, in my view, I would say yes. There indeed is a possibility that there is a race for war. There is a race for fighting. So, whether it be a group of people wanting to fight or running, competing to fight, I do. And all we've done is flip the words, put the war in front of race and the race in front of war. And it means two completely different things. But are they? Are they really? Do you think they're two different things? If we say race, war, or war, race, are they different? That's the funny thing about words, and I think that's why I love words so much. And on the flip side, I have terrible trouble with it. Because you can word it, conjure it, speak it, write it in any form to say what you want to be said. How will it be perceived, received, and understood is a completely other thing. Okay? And that's magic. That's where the magic lies. In the spell. In the spell. So, we got these words, we got this phrase, we got this topic, and the confusion and distortment, pain, hurt, misunderstanding, and everything that it brings. Are we one race, or are we many races? Are we having lots of competitions, or are we just having one? Are we having many fights, or just one fight? Fight to survive, fight to live, fight to exist, fight to stand, a fight to choose, a fight to decide if we win or lose. What is it? What is it really? I want to hear from you. Put your thoughts, put your views in the comments. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Are my views in any way resonating with you? So is there a race war or a race for war, my people? Is there a race war or a race for war? You know, there's in terms of language and our expression, there is for me this thing called a balance. And I believe that there may existed some level of balance. And in order for a balance to take place, you gotta have equal parts. So it would be asking the question, is 1 pound of feather the same as 1 pound of nail? In your thoughts, you're like, nah, a feather is light. Like, no, I couldn't be equal to a pound. Nails are heavy. So there's no way 1 pound of feather could be equal to 1 pound of nail. The nails would certainly have to be heavier. It's still a pound. They're both 1 pound. So it may take 5 nails or more. Let's just use 5. So it may take 5 nails to get a pound, but it may take 1,000 feathers to get a pound, but it's a pound nonetheless. I lost to that question. So I know, I understand the concept of thought behind it, because I was asked that question some time ago and I did not agree, because I certainly in my head thought that pound of nail to a pound of feather, come on, how can that be equivalent? Okay, so there has to be, in my opinion, some level of balance. And you take the moon, you take the sun. They offer us that balance. You take good, you take bad. It still offers that balance. You take black, you take white. It still offers that balance. You take up, you take down. Still have that balance. You take the positive, you take the negative. Still that balance. What puts it, or may put everything out of sync, is when we have the scales being tipped. So 1 pound of feather, 1 pound of nail. 5 nails equivalent to 1 pound. Remove 1 nail and it's less than a pound. Remove 1 feather. Remove 1 feather. 1,000 feathers for 1 pound. Remove 1 feather. It's less than a pound. Do you notice? Would you be more inclined to see the difference in the feather or in the nail. I believe we would take more notice of the nail because it's heavier. But the feather in our view is so light. Oh, it's just one feather. It's just one nail. So these are the little things that we overlook. Because the nails are heavier, it becomes a problem. But because the feathers are lighter, one goes missing, and it's okay, don't worry about it. It's just one feather, but it's still less than a pound, both. So why make a scene of the nail and not make a scene of the feathers? Our perception, our feelings. Right? Right. Back to the balance. This yin and yang, day and night, good, bad. I guess we all need that for that balance to take place. So I believe in diverse. I also believe variety is the spice of life. So without the variety, without the diverse, I can't imagine what life would be. Maybe something like what we're experiencing now. No diverse, no variety. Oh, okay. So, is it then that we should, based on the balance, accept the good as we accept the bad? Is it then that on the scale of balance, we should be okay with the bad as we are with the good? Give me your views. Tell me your opinion. Because if that's the case, then a race war or a race for war can be argumentatively challenged to be okay on the scale of balance. However, it can also be challenged on the scale of imbalance. Right? I think so. And as I said, variety. What's life without that little variety, that little spice that makes it? I came to realize something, right? And I think I watched this in a movie or something, but I think it's a movie I watched it. I've watched so many movies. Yeah, I think it's a movie I watched it in, where the person was in pain. They were in so much pain, right? And in the movie, I think it was maybe a guru or something that came to the person and said, listen, continue to feel the pain. And when the pain gets to that breaking point, it will be no more. It will subside. And to some degree, I thought initially that doesn't make sense. If you're in pain, the last thing you want to do is to continue to be in pain. You want to stop the pain. You want to find some way to stop the pain. So let's say your finger, right, your thumb. If you bend your thumb forward, you feel the pain. You are going to try everything in your power to not bend that finger forward, because that is when you start to feel the pain. But in this movie, what this guru or man or whomever he's called is saying is that bend the finger forward. Continue to bend that finger forward and continue to feel the pain. Because it is only then through that process that the pain will eventually subside and be no more. Does that make sense? To me, it make no sense. Because you want to tell me, say, if you continue to feel pain until we don't feel the pain no more. None of that me want. That is not what I want. You hear? That is not what I want. I do not want to sit there for, or stand there, or be there for however long it may take in this pain, in this state of hurt, until it is no more. Right? You want to get away from that. You want to get out of it immediately. So you bring the thumb back up. And you pretend the pain isn't there, because you're not bending it forward. And you go on existing knowing that every time you bend it forward, you're going to feel the pain. So you don't. So you never venture into problems. You never venture into a situation that's going to make you uncomfortable, because that's not where you want to be. You always want to be in a state of feeling good, being good, looking good, sounding good, as long as it's good for you. You never want to venture outside of that. Right? So I could use that analogy to say, or I've used that analogy to say, class, race, color, creed, whatever it may be. When we find ourselves, and I guess this is human nature, when we find ourselves in a certain state of happy, joy, good, nothing we will allow to take us out of that, because we know what the opposite feels like. So you have a person who is, so to speak, wealthy, rich, right? They have all the financial backing in the world. They can buy what they want. Well, you can always buy what you want. You could never buy what you need. They will forever buy what they want to survive. Always be able to afford it, right? You take that man, that woman, that individual, and you take away all that they have. Right? Take away all that they have. What happens? The state that they're in is now next to madness. because they're now uncomfortable. Their finger is now bent forward and they're feeling the pain. And that is where they never wanted to be. They were quite comfortable with their thumb up, feeling no pain and being okay, pretending, believing, wanting to think that all is well with their thumbs up. And I think that is one of the reasons why persons with a little bit more always or may possibly find it so hard to come back down off of that ladder willingly. That may be why they go around, they live and exist lavishly, because they never want to have that thumb bent. They never want to feel that pain that they felt. They never want to know what that pain feels like. So they keep it up. So when the person, let's say the poor man, he sees this rich man driving his car, his nice big luxury car, past, and he may feel envy, right? He may think within himself, why rich man name have everything I want, I never look for me like a poor man and give me something. However, he truly doesn't know and understand that that man is trying everything in his power to not bend his thumb. He wouldn't know that. So he assumes, and they do say that you should never assume because you make up out of, but he assumes. And I guess, in my view, is that also a means of balance? Is it that everybody could be wealthy? Is it that everybody could be poor? Which is it? Or is it the balance that some have to be rich and some have to be poor? Is that balance? Is the balance that some must have a little more and some must have less? Does that make a balance? So 50 poor, 50 rich. Balance. Possibly, because it's a balance, and as I said, I believe in a balance, right? One may ask the question in that avenue, okay, so if 50 rich are 50 poor, right? What you notice about the rich is that they always need the poor, right? Disagree or agree with me. The rich need the poor, and the poor also needs the rich, right? How do we get this need or want? It is the rich who needs the poor for what? For their human resource, for their so-called menial, and I say so-called because I don't agree with the term menial jobs, right? It is the rich that need the poor for that. So the rich man's gardener, babysitter, the rich man's cleaner. Those people will not come from his side of the world. He's going to have to go to the poor side of the world to get those, right? Yeah. Now for the poor, how does he survive getting his daily dollars and cents? He needs the rich to give him a job. He needs the rich man's wealth, money, paper to survive. It's quite interesting. So then, 50 rich, 50 poor. Is that how it is supposed to be? The creators, the crafters, the makers, is this what they organized? Is this what they were creating? Perhaps, because again, it's a balance. But then we tip the scale. It's no longer 50-50. Let's say you have 80% poor and 20% rich. The funny thing, if you put it on a scale, let's say you put this on a scale, the one thing that you're going to notice is that first, the scales are no longer equal. The second thing that you'll notice is the 80% have gone to the bottom. They're close to touching the bottom. And the 20% are close to touching the top. So the 20% are at the top and the 80% are at the bottom. Right? Scales are now unbalanced. Is that how the Creator expected the things to be? Who, what, decided, thought, prepared, now we could easily switch this around. Let's say we have 80% rich, 20% poor. Sorry. The 20% poor are now still at the top. They're close to the top. And the 80% are now close to the bottom. But scales are still unbalanced. Is this then a good thing? Because the 20% are close to the top. Or is this a bad thing? Because the 80% rich are close to the bottom. They're almost hitting rock bottom. They're so rich that they're almost hitting rock bottom. And the 20% are so poor that they're almost touching the sky. They're flying so high. Who came to this? Who perpetuated this? What is it supposed to be? Where are the answers? Where is the truth? What would be acceptable to you? Would you prefer the 50-50 balance? Would you prefer the scales tipped 80-20, 20-80? And on what sides? What would you be more comfortable with? You want to hear my opinion? I'll give you my opinion in another video. But let me hear from you. What are your views? What do you think? My people, my friends within this universe, those that exist, those that live, those that breathe. Is there a race war, or is there a race for war? Let's hear what you have to say. Okay? So, I think I have said as much as I need to say for today. Right? Yeah, it's opposites, and again they say opposites attract. So, and that's how you get the 50-50. So the 50-50, on the 50-50 scale, they both attract each other. So it's an ultimate, without doubt, attraction. They both attract because they're both coming and going from each other, right? And it's still a balance in my view. You know, maybe like putting the sun and the moon together. Yeah, could you put the sun and the moon together? Because the sun has its separate standing, the moon has its separate standing. We get that 50-50 balance, right? Between day and night, light and day, light and dark, that equal balance. And I simply don't understand though why is it a balance on 50-50, and how do we acquire the 50-50 balance, and does the 50-50 balance make sense, or is it just nonsense? Right, we'll have a further me alone discussion again in another video. I am going to be closing off today. I do want to extend first that this segment will not, and moving forward, my segments will not include the Our Language segment. Why? Two specific reasons. My daughter keeps asking me, where's your video on YouTube? So I brought her to the video, and she said, no, that's not my video, that's your video. Where is my video? So the boss wants her own video. So what I'm going to do is just have her do like a little 10-minute video of our segment, and I post it separately so that she can go and see her video separately. And with the addition, to my understanding with YouTube, when it comes on to children, they disable comments. So that would be a good thing. Kudos for that as well. To YouTube, that would be a good thing, because then her little snippet will not have the comments open, right? So to keep it more friendly, and to listen, she can go and search for her own thing and listen to her own thing as well. Other children who may eventually start to listen, or their parents may be able to search specifically for that and have them listen to it instead of opening up this segment and having to scroll and find, to the end that segment and listen to it. It's much simpler to me now, and much easier, much more comfortable for everybody, and the boss gets what she wants, right? Yeah. So that is it for today, my people. I am closing out. Please, this topic will continue. I will try to do another video again, and I'm thinking that maybe my next video will close off a little bit more on this topic, maybe depending on your feedback and what you have to say, or I may extend it out further, because as it's a broad topic for me, very, very broad. I don't think 2 decades could complete the discussions that may entail around that topic, right? So that is it for this day. Hope you had fun. Hope you felt warm and close. After all, we are all one connection under the sun's view. Okay? Thank you all so much again for stopping by and sharing this little moment with me. I highly, 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 greatly, and super spendously appreciate it. Okay? Love, laughter, sunlight, health, wealth, and understanding to all. Ashe.